Alright, with practice and mental preparation, this tutorial will teach you how to successfully implement Powermove throwdowns into your Powermove combos. First thing you want to do before you get started is stretch out. It's important to stretch out the legs and the arms, the wrists, front and back. You can feel free to follow along here, or if you want more in-depth information on stretching, you can watch my stretching video and follow along, or feel free to do the stretches that you think work good for you. Alright, now let's get started. For those of you spinning counterclockwise, you're going to be placing your right hand down first. For those of you spinning clockwise, you're going to be placing your left hand down first. The rest of this tutorial will be taught in counterclockwise, so if you spin clockwise, just think opposite arms and legs. Alright, now let's look at the basic movement of the throwdown. I put my right hand down first, but I cock it on a slight angle so I can move around it fluidly. If I don't turn my wrist, I won't be able to follow around it properly. I could get injured or have other problems. Alright, now let's go over the motions. Start from the standing position with your legs spread. Throw down your right arm for counterclockwise, left arm for clockwise. And then for counterclockwise, kick your left leg up as you move onto your right hand with your wrist cocked. Go over this motion until you feel comfortable enough to swing around. Notice how I keep my whole body tight. I generate a little bit of momentum from kicking my left leg up and out, and then follow back in with my right leg and switch down to my other hand. For beginners, start slow and just go around in circles until you can feel a momentum going from one arm to the other and you're moving in a circle. Alright, let's take a closer look at some of these examples. First, my right hand goes down, turned on an angle, and my left leg kicks up. Think whichever arm you put down first, you kick up with your opposite leg first, and then follow it in with your other leg and put your other hand down. So think of it as a line going through your body from one arm to your opposite leg. Use that to generate some momentum. Once again, right hand goes down, my left leg kicks up, follow with my other leg, and place my other hand down, swinging in a circle. Once you get to this point, your throwdowns are now ready to be continued to power moves such as Airflares and flares. To see a complete tutorial on Airflares and flares, click on the annotations below or see the link in the description. But for now, I'm going to continue on with the throwdown, going into moves such as windmills and halos, or ground power. Just as a side note for the flare entrance, when you're coming around, be sure to kick this leg up very hard and keep your arms tight. Alright, now we're going to continue with throwdowns to windmills or backspins, whichever ground power on your back you want to continue to. Now I recommend learning throwdowns to windmills before you learn throwdowns to halos. And keep in mind, when doing throwdowns to windmills, do not throw down to the stabbing position. Instead, you want to collapse your left arm, or if you're going clockwise, your right arm. You want to collapse it to the side of your body and roll onto your shoulders. Do not go into the stabbing position. If you try to throw down to the stabbing position and you don't have enough strength, you could end up injuring your abdominals, breaking your arm, or looking like something like this. So instead, you want to collapse your arm to the side and roll onto your upper shoulders, continuing your momentum in a fluid motion, like so. Let's pay attention to that in slow motion. Everything from before applies. I turn my arm slightly, kick my left leg up, and then collapse down with my left arm. For clockwise, right arm. Pay careful attention to how my left arm bends and collapses to the side. And then I roll onto my shoulders and continue into mill or backspin. If you're having trouble getting over the fear at first, feel free to start lower, like this example, and then eventually you'll get over the fear, you'll get more comfortable, and you'll be able to go from higher and higher. So it's perfectly fine to start with both hands down and then just rolling into it. But remember, be sure, collapse that arm to the side, not in the stabbing position. Alright, now once you get this down, you're going to be able to continue the throwdown into windmills and other ground power moves that take place on your back. Baby mills, backspins. To see a complete windmill tutorial, click on the annotation below or see the link in the description. Alright, now we're going to move to throwdowns to halos. This one is probably the most difficult to do in my opinion, because it's going to require you to go into a slight stabbing position while slowly placing your head on the ground without getting injured, and then continuing back up to halos. So this one, in my opinion, is the most advanced, and I would try and get the other ones down, at least the fluid motions, before attempting throwdowns to halos. Now for the throwdowns to halos, you're going to have to go into a stabbing position. And if you're afraid you do not have enough strength to throw down to a stabbing position without getting injured, consider these exercises. The first exercise that'll help you develop this strength if you feel like you need it are basically what I like to call stabbing push-ups. Basically getting to the stabbing position with all of your limbs touching the ground, and then move into the stabbing position with the arm that you're going to be using left if you're going counterclockwise and right if you're going clockwise. And then push up and down, strengthening your muscles and joints prior to attempting this move. If you can't do this or have difficulty, start by doing these push-ups on your knees like so, and then progress up, and eventually you'll get better and better. Your body will have to adapt. Once you're comfortable with that, try getting into the turtle freeze position and pushing up and letting yourself go down. Just do this slightly, don't go too much. Just try and develop enough strength and see where you're at. Once you master those, the next step would be doing handstand to stabbing position. Get into your handstand, place both hands down, and then if you're going to spin your halos counterclockwise, you want to go down on your left arm like me, and if you're going to spin clockwise, you want to go down on your right arm. Mastering this so you can do this in a fluid motion without hurting yourself is necessary, in my opinion, to continue on to the next step. It'll also help give you the strength and control you need to continue into halos. Alright, now let's think about this carefully. So if I'm going counterclockwise, my right hand's going to go down first, and then my left hand's going to go down, and I'm going to slowly collapse onto my arm into the stabbing position, placing my head down extremely slow, or extremely controlled as a matter of fact, so that it doesn't impact, but it rather just glides into the halo. Alright, let's look at this very carefully. First, my right hand goes down, followed by my left hand. Go slightly into the stabbing position, placing my head down approximately at the same time in a fluid controlled motion with no impact, and then rotating into our halo. Take careful note how my head touches just as my left leg changes its momentum to upwards. In other words, it swoops up. Over time, with careful practice, you'll be able to master this and go into halos from the throwing position. If you would like a complete halo tutorial, click on the annotation below or check the link in the description. Finally, to give your throwdown a more aggressive look, feel free to turn around by stepping backwards before throwing your throwdown out. So if you're spinning counterclockwise like me, you're going to turn to your right, and you're also going to place your left foot out first, then bring it around, and then swoop it in like so. This just gives it kind of a more aggressive look, but is completely optional in my opinion. Alright, I hope this tutorial helps you guys out. Remember, keep practicing and don't give up. And remember, as well, don't forget to subscribe to Pygmy123. You'll make me really happy. Thanks. Peace.
Say you wanna play, maybe not today. Boy, you brought that money. Yes, I can.